Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in today's video we are going to be looking at Chelsea's signings under their new owner Todd Bohely. So just a little bit of a preface. So Todd Bohely has spent a lot of money, I think it's around £600 million, plus like manager fees for Tuchel and Potter, but they've bought a lot of players and it's a bit controversial. They basically got a whole new squad, but let's see how they fit in and how we can rank these transfers. So as you can see on this tier list I've made, we have a world-class signing, great potential, decent, shite, what the fuck were they thinking? I've got a few on this for that one. So I'm going to try and start from chronological order. I've got a little list up here first. I'm going to try and remember it in chronological order. So, I think their first one was probably one that not many people know would be the goalkeeper. Where is she? There. I think his name is Gabriel Cellini. He's an American, 18-year-old American. He got quite a lot of clean sheets for Chicago Fire last season. He was loaned back to Chicago Fire because of the MLS thing. I think he's back in the squad now, but I'm going to put him in great potential because in a really good season for the MLS, they picked him up for relatively cheap, so I think that's quite a good investment for the future, especially with Mendy now being phased out and Kepa being, don't know how old he is, but seems unreliable at times. Who was their next one? I think it was Carney Chukwuemeka from Aston Villa for I think around £10 million. £10 million, 18 million euros. He was never going to start, but from the games he's played, he's been okay. But some games he doesn't match the quality that Chelsea need right now. So I'm inclined to put him in shite, but I'm also inclined to put him in decent because he was a very good player for. He was a very good player for Aston Villa, so I'm going to put him in decent to see what we, if we decide something different at the end of this. The next signing, I think, are the two big ones for them in the summer, which is Raheem Sterling and Koulibaly. I think Raheem Sterling was great, the first one. He's a bit injury prone at the minute, I think. He doesn't start every game, and I think he's quite injured at the minute, but is it a world-class signing? Yes, it's I don't know. Because he's a great player, but I don't know if he suits Chelsea's system. I'm going to go world-class. I don't know. I can't figure it out right now. I think he's a very good player, but they need other players around him to be a provider to give him that space, that angle, but they're not doing that for him at the minute. So, I think we could see him be really good next season under a solid Chelsea. But at the minute, Chelsea are just in a shambles, a lot like Liverpool are right now. So we'll have to see. Koulibaly, one of the world's greatest defenders in the last couple of years, always sought after by clubs like Man United, Man City, Chelsea. But he just hasn't worked for Chelsea. They're looking to overhaul him in the summer. I'm gonna put him in shite because he had a good first 5 games, but since then he's just been absolute dog shit for Chelsea, to be perfectly honest. So who else did they sign this summer? I know they signed Fofana, Aubameyang, and Zakaria and Cucurella actually. We'll go with Aubameyang wasn't deadline day, so we'll go for Zakaria. I think once he's got in the team, he's actually been decent. Really good midfielder, great to kind of fill in for that Kante role because Kante's really injured at the minute. So I don't know if they're gonna plan to buy him at the end of the season, but I think he would be a decent player to have, especially with a load of players being out of contract in the next 2 years and contract negotiations being stalled at the minute. Next one, we're gonna go with Marc Cucurella. I just don't think he's good enough for Chelsea, or I just don't think he suits Chelsea's system. And I don't think he suits back four. And I don't know what's wrong for him because he's a really good player, but he just doesn't. He didn't suit Chelsea, but he suited Brighton, and Brighton played the kind of same system until Graham Potter came in. So I'm gonna put him in shite because he just hasn't been good at all. He's like Koulibaly, he had a good first few games, and he was just really bad since then. Next one, Fofana. That can probably go in what the fuck were you thinking? Yeah, 80 million pounds, I think. Where is it? Yeah, 80 million euros for a player that is very injury prone, has a few good games this season, but he's always injured. He's just always injured. He's just gonna take up the injury bench personally, and I just don't think it was a smart signing because they paid the big bucks for him because Leicester didn't want to let him go, but he hasn't played a lot for them, and when he does, he doesn't look that great. And I think he came back from injury and got injured the first game back, so it's kind of pointless. Aubameyang, what the fuck were you thinking? Yeah, because you should let him just stay at Barcelona, basically. He doesn't look like he wants to play for the club. He's not Premier League level anymore. And honestly, the curse of the number 9 at Chelsea is a real thing because they just cannot get a solid striker, and he just isn't good anymore. He needs to go to somewhere like Ligue 1, Serie A, or La Liga. He did well for Barca, but he just doesn't fit the Premier League anymore, and I don't think he's got the mindset anymore for it. Now we've got the next one. So this is when we move into the winter window. So I think David Datro Fofana. So there's this player here. Another striking option. What the fuck were you thinking? I don't know why they got him. I'd never heard of the player before then. He might be good, but we haven't seen him play, and I don't think we will see him play a lot this season. So I think it's just a waste of money, and it's more like, what the fuck are you thinking? Next up, we got. I'm trying to think. It's so many they did this window. This Santos kid, apparently he's meant to be quite good, so I'm gonna say good potential because I think they're building for the future, which is quite smart. Then they got the Badashili, the Monaco centre back. I think he's, from what I've seen of him play for Chelsea, he's been a really good signing. Really helped solidify the back. Looks calm in the number 4 role. And yeah, I think he's a great signing, good potential. Great way to solidify the back line. I mean, even though they have 50,000 defenders. So yeah, I think it's a good signing. Great potential. Makayo Mudryk is going to be the next one. I think he's decent, great potential. I'll stick him in great potential because for that 45 minutes he came on against Liverpool, he tore them a new one. But in the last 2 games he's played, I think he's played like about 90 minutes in the last 2 games. He hasn't been great. He hasn't had any successful dribbles, even though that's what he's meant to be known for. So I think his time will come. I just don't know if he's worth the fucking 70 million euro price tag plus add-ons that they're going to be paying for him. Next one I think is Gusto. I know he's a really good player, but they've got Reece James. I know they need a backup one, but is Gusto really want to go play second fiddle to Reece James? I know Reece James is injured a lot, but it's where does he fit into that piece of the puzzle? So I'm going to put Gusto in decent because I don't know how he's going to play a role in this Chelsea squad because they have a great right back in Reece James. It just doesn't make sense to me to go get a right back who's concurrent when probably Man United probably would benefit more from him. I think they need like a younger player because even Reece James is like 23, 22. I know he's quite young. But now we come up to the 3 big boys. I'm going to start. Ender Fernandez will be the last one, but we're going to go with João Felix. Obviously, he did not have a great debut. He got a red card, which is quite funny. But he scored today because today Chelsea played West Ham. He scored a good goal. I think he's that striker that they need because they don't play a necessary high line when attacking. He just drift off the other defender, and that's exactly what he did today. He drifted off the back, off of the central centre back, into the pocket gap between the centre back and the left-sided centre back, and Enzo Fernandez has that eye, and it was really good. So I think personally it's a world-class signing, and with Atletico's financial struggles at the minute, I think they should sign him on a permanent, sell Aubameyang and Havertz and have him. Noni Madueke, I think, great signing. He's someone that I personally have looked at for years as a great right winger. A lot of clubs should be going after him, and I think they've got a really good player in ordered Madueke. May not start every game, but he's got that agility, he's got that pace, he's got that agility, that quickness like Mudryk has. So I'm going to put him in great potential, but I think he should have gone to a club that's more progressive in the youth sense, because Chelsea are just overstacking their club at the minute. Enzo Fernandez, obviously a star at the World Cup. I think the way that everything went about with the deal, I think was really bad, and I think it should definitely be frowned upon, shamed upon, and maybe Enzo Fernandez should be questioned about it, but overall I think it is a fabulous signing, because he was their best player when he debuted 3 days after they'd signed him, and he's just got his first assist in his second game for Chelsea. I would have personally loved to have him at Liverpool. I think he was a player we needed, but we don't have that financial facilities like that for now. So overall, I'm going to go with world class for him, and I think he might be the best signing there, because he's young, he's got an eye for a pass, he's like a little bit of a Pirlo. But yeah, this is, I think, my final list. I don't think I want to change anyone. I think I've got what I need here. So yeah, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think my list is correct? Do you think that someone should be higher or lower on this list? So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.